to extend battery lifespan on Samsung Galaxy A25 5G, you can do several different things. First and foremost, we're gonna go to the settings, and over here we need to go to battery. We have the power saving option that allows you to save some battery, or in other words, enable the battery saver mode, and that prevents draining the battery. Over here in power saving options, you can also enable and disable some of the options that have to be, or that you wish to be, disabled when using the power saving mode. And of course, most of these options should be enabled, such as the always on display, CPU speed limitation to 70%, decrease of the brightness. We can also turn off 5G and so on. So you can simply tap on this switcher in order to enable and disable it. You can also tap on these three dots in the top right corner to enable the adaptive power saving, which is something that you should consider using. The adaptive power saving mode allows the device to learn how you use the device, and based on the usage and on some patterns, the device will turn on and off the battery saver by itself automatically. Now, of course, you don't really have to use the power saving mode, but it is really convenient because this allows you to quickly turn off things that drain the battery, let's say, the most. For instance, even the 5G can be quickly disabled like that. Of course, you can adjust this to your own needs. Now, besides that, in the battery, we also have the battery protection, which is also something that can be used and, well, should be used, let's be honest, because this greatly improves the battery lifespan and keeps the battery in a better condition for much longer. And over here we have three options. We can use the basic battery protection, the adaptive one, and the maximum. First, I'm gonna explain the basic. So the basic battery protection allows the device to be charged to 100%. But if the device reaches 100% and you don't remove the charger, then the battery level will drop to 95%. The battery drops to 95%. And then it starts charging again. So if you charge up to 100%, then it goes down to 95 again, and once it reaches 95% again, it charges back up to 100. We also have the maximum, like I mentioned, which stops charging the device at 80%, so you cannot really exceed that. And there is also adaptive, which allows you to use pretty much both of these options, basic and maximum, depending on the situation. So the maximum option will be used when you are asleep, and it will switch to basic before you wake up. So this is something that you should probably use if you wish to have the best results, but at the same time you don't want to be limited to 80% of the battery usage. Now, the reason why it is 80% is because most of the batteries, especially on Samsung devices, they are intended to be kept between 20 and 80%. Which means that if you drop to 20%, this is the perfect time to start charging the device again. And if you charge the device 80% is the ideal percentage to stop charging. And that's essentially it. Now, of course, we have some additional options, or actually one option, that is fast charging. And some people say that it is recommended to turn this off. Some people say it doesn't really matter. So it's of course up to you to enable or disable this option. Besides that, of course, you definitely want to disable things that aren't used at a given moment. So if you are outside of your home and you don't have Wi-Fi access, there is no reason to keep this on. So remember to turn it off. The same goes with Bluetooth. If you aren't connected to any Bluetooth device, then there is no reason to keep this on. And the same goes with NFC. This can be just enabled and disabled whenever you need to. And also the mobile data. So this is like the contrary of the Wi-Fi. When you are at home, you want to go to SIM manager, of course, in order to disable mobile data. So when you are at home, then probably you don't want to have mobile data enabled because you have access to Wi-Fi. So keep that in mind. It is of course recommended to switch between these when necessary. And also location. We can go to location in settings in order to disable location, and in location services you can make sure that Wi-Fi scanning and Bluetooth scanning is also disabled because they aren't really needed all the time. So that's about it. Thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next videos. Bye!